So how the heck did I end up in this situation where I need posterior tibialis tendon surgery? A lot of it's due to my stupidity. So I've been having this severe foot ankle pain, instability for like, I don't know, at least 2.5 years, where I was rolling my ankle, a lot of pain on the inside of my ankle, and a couple of, and I've had issues over the years with shin splints and tight calves, flat feet, but over the past, I don't know, 3 years, there's been a couple instances where I felt something, actually pop or tear in my inside of my instep area. Going through an airport about 2 years ago, kind of racing with bags, carrying 30, 35 pounds, racing, walking fast, felt something pull. Then out on a 3-mile walk about 1.5 years ago with my wife, stopped halfway to talk to somebody, started walking again, felt a pop. Now I'm halfway through a 3-mile loop. So instead of, stopping and saying, hey, asking my wife to go walk back and get a car to pick me up, I toughed it out for 1.5 miles, and I was in agony when I got back. So I don't know if that's when the tendon tore, but it just kept getting worse to the point where, I was trying to self-diagnose and trying different shoes. Let me show you the shoes I was, I thought it was just, old age, 60, I'll be 63 next week. Thought it was just old age and a combination of old, a lot of injuries to ankles, and just thought it was something I'm gonna have to figure out on my own. Instead of going to the doctor, which is stupid. If I would have gone to the doctor 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now. So one of the things I thought was helping after I had hip replacement surgery 2.5 years ago, these zero rise shoes, zero drop shoes. I started wearing those. In fact, these are ultras. In fact, I was wearing these on the walk, 3-mile walk with my wife. My calves were super tight. I thought, oh, this is probably a good thing. Maybe these shoes are helping me stretch out my calves. And just a side note, I've been doing yoga for 7 years. So I do, I'm pretty flexible for my physique. I'm 6'3" and, have a kind of a weird physique, but I can do, an hour and a half of pretty intense yoga. But anyhow, so I went to the ultras. They started falling apart, so I was looking for another brand of zero drop shoes, and these are Topos. Got a pair of these, and my ankle just was feeling less and less stable. Like even walking in the grass, I was turning my ankle over. So then I switched to a more supportive shoe. Saucony Triumphs, bought 1 pair. Actually did some walking after the severe pop in my ankle. Maybe, a half a mile with my wife and the dog. Then I bought another pair of Triumphs. Thought that was the answer. Pain continued, so I switched to Nike Pegasus. Went on a trip with these about 1 year ago. Same thing, through the airport carrying bags. Had pain, but I was able to push through it for a 10-day trip. So I came back from the trip. I said, hey, these Nike Pegasus, these are 34s. So I bought another pair of Pegasus, went on another trip, wore these, and was able to get through the trip, another 10-day trip. These are Pegasus 38s. In the last 3 weeks before the surgery, I started wearing my old shop shoes. These are Redback. They're composite toe shoes that I wore. Probably this pair I wore the last 3 years of my working career in machine shops. So these probably have 1,000 miles on them, walking around concrete factory floors. And I have really good insoles in them, and it was down to these are the only ones I I could actually stand and walk in. So that's, before I went to the doctor on July 3rd, I was down to this shoe as being the only one I could walk in without complete agony. So about 3 months ago, my wife had knee replacement surgery. So I had to do a lot more walking. She takes care of our dog, walks the dog, a couple times a day. So she was laid up, so I had to walk the dog, and I could barely walk 2 houses down, and my ankle was just severe pain. I could barely make it back. So with the walking, and I realized that over the past 3 or 4 months, I just haven't been walking. If I go to the grocery store, I'm hanging on the shopping cart with all my weight, trying to take weight off this ankle. So she had her knee surgery. She recovered 2 months later. We had physicals at the doctor's office. So I go in for my physical July 3rd. It's now August 13th. So July 3rd, I go in for the physical. My wife goes in with me and tells the doctor, hey, he's got a problem with his ankle. It's he's in agony every night. It's swollen every day. So the doctor's like, yeah, you should have brought this up earlier, dumbass. So he sends me for an x-ray like July 3rd, same day. X-ray comes back. I go to a foot podiatrist. He looks at the x-ray, says, you need an MRI, or looks at my foot. He says, yeah, I think you got a big problem here, but I need an MRI. Looks at the MRI. So he says, yeah, you got a torn posterior tibialis tendon, and it's messed up, and we need to get you in surgery next week. So 6 days ago, I had the surgery, and the fact that it got to this point, now I'm in a, basically 6 weeks in a cast, no weight bearing, so I'm just disabled for 6 weeks. I let this go this long, and this is what it turned into. So my goal after all this is to be able to walk 3 miles. I don't expect to go out and walk 10 miles, certainly not run, but I want to be able to go on a trip, and 3 miles is probably something you should be able to walk or travel on foot to be able to say you're mobile. So my surgeon says, yeah, after this is done, you'll be able to walk 3 miles. The surgeon also said once that tendon tears like mine did, totally separates, it's a mess. He had to reconstruct the tendon. It's no longer usable. So he has to, the posterior tibialis tendon goes from the calf down to the foot and holds your arch up and, supports your whole foot and arch. So what they have to do is take a tendon from the other side, basically reuse it, take another tendon and reuse another tendon, and which is going to limit, I guess, some mobility and how I can move my toes. But lessons learned, especially if you're older, I think, with the symptoms I described, history of shin splints, flat feet, tight calves all my life with any, physical activity, running, I did triathlons 100 years ago, but don't let it go this long. Don't try to self-diagnose. Go to the doctor, get an MRI, see what's going on. Because I think especially for seniors, these tendons, when you damage them, they get damaged pretty bad. So, if I would have addressed this 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't be in the situation I'm in, which is 6 weeks non-weight bearing cast on crutches, and then another, 2 months rehab and getting strength back where I can actually walk again. So essentially, I'm going to be, screwed for 6 months. So that's my story. And lessons learned: don't do what I did. If you have this pain I described, get to the doctor, get an MRI, and see what's going on. So, not looking forward to the next four months. Well, I'm looking forward to getting by fast because I'm really, really limited with what I can do. So that's where I'm at. Till next one, won't be a lot of DIYs between now and then. Won't be any motorcycle videos, obviously. But yeah, just hanging loose for next couple months, and wish me luck. Peace out.